Hey everybody, it's C Money. I'm executive producer of the Slumpbuster podcast, and today I'm going to be reacting to my favorite scenes from the film Major League. And joining me is my little buddy Groot. How are you doing, Groot? Hmm? You want to react to this with me? All right, let's do it. I love this scene. This is like the scene. This is where they face the first couple of teams and they start messing up as a team.
Come on.
No.
We'll leave him down here. Maybe the jetway isn't working.
This is another good scene.
And this is good. It's real good. 757 in Milwaukee?
No, that's not your plane. Yours is this one rolling in.
They get the crappy plane when it's very functional.
Oh, sure, now you come around. He's not fooled.
Alright guys, this is a very iconic scene. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to tone it down a bit because we don't want this video to be flagged by YouTube. Yeah, look, there's Vaughn. He's coming out. Vaughn is the picture of the movie. He is blind throughout the movie, so he could not be accurate at all. But the kid can really throw a fast one.
I hate this fucking song.
Sorry guys, but I have to turn it down because I don't want to be flagged for copyright. But this is a really good scene. They start playing Wild Thing. So good. How are you doing, Groot? Groot loves to watch movies with me. I'll be watching a movie and he'll be right next to me watching it. It's like he knows what's going on. How are you doing, Groot? Alright, Groot, you want to be put down? Huh? Alright, babies. I'll let you go to sleep. Okay, babies? If you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. This movie is really good. It was my first time watching it. It was recommended by Juju on the Slumpbuster podcast. And I really enjoyed this movie. Very good movie. Alright guys, so after this we're going to be transitioning to our review on Get Your Popcorn of Major League. Like I said, I enjoyed this movie. It was recommended to me. And if it's your first time watching it, I really hope you enjoy it. It's funny, it's a great time, and it has a lot of actors. And they're super young. Alright guys, enjoy Get Your Popcorn podcast. Hey guys, this is C Money, executive producer of the Slumpbuster podcast, and today we are reviewing Major League on our Get Your Popcorn podcast. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to our Major League review. Today we have Juju with us. How are you doing, Juju?
Doing great, especially since I get to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time on today's episode, so I'm pretty excited about this one.
Oh yeah, man. You're the one that talked me into watching this movie, and I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like one of those movies that if I hear someone hasn't watched it, I'm definitely on my way to encouraging them. Please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. I think it's, for me, not just my favorite overall sports movie, not just my favorite baseball movie, but this is a legitimate top 10 all-time movie for me. I just think the comedy in it's so well done. I think the actual sports aspect of it is spot on for the course. And I just really enjoy a lot of the characters. Honestly, I think this is one of the best ensemble movies I've ever seen because even though there's so many different characters, so many different colorful personalities, and a lot of different storylines, it all works together really well. And it never feels like any of them are not really giving the right shine. It doesn't feel like any of these characters are underdeveloped.
Yeah, exactly. Every character is unique. So you have Ricky Vaughn, which is played by Charlie Sheen, and he's one of those pitchers that can throw a real fastball, but he's not accurate. And then you have the voodoo guy, which I don't know if you knew this, but he's the Allstate commercial guy, which
No,
I didn't know that. He's so young in this movie.
yeah, no, I never really knew that myself either, like until you like told me that. And it's kind of funny because like I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I don't go with Allstate now, do I risk like Pedro Serrano putting a curse on me?
Yeah, exactly. And then you also have Wesley Snipes. And then after that, they have Jake Taylor, which he's the catcher. He's the one that's trying to get everybody motivated. He's the one that sees potential in the team. In this storyline, he has some drama going on. He's trying to get back with his ex-wife because he was a drunk when he was in the major league. He had an affair. But he's a changed man, and all he wants to do is just be with her and play the good old game of baseball.
Yeah, too. And there's even some other characters, too, that you didn't even get a chance to mention. So obviously you got Luke, the manager of the team, coming up from AAA. And when he's first announced, too, as the GM's like, who? And honestly, I would go with this guy into battle any day. Like some of the motivational speeches he gives to the team, one of the best like managers I've seen in any sports movie. And then you have Ol Harris, the veteran pitcher of the locker room, who's teaching Ricky Vaughn a few things about the Vaseline ball, the KY ball. You know, all the little tricks of the trade right there. The villain of the movie. So Margaret Whitton, she does an amazing job as the like antagonist to the story. So obviously you mentioned it. The objective, the main thing that's kind of like holding this team back is she's trying to make the team bad on purpose. Basically, if the attendance numbers drop below a certain threshold, she plans to move the team to Miami, which is kind of ironic because so the Indians, so real life baseball interjection here. Right now, as of 2019, they have the longest Major League World Series drought currently ongoing at 71 years. So obviously 1989 is when this movie came out. So a 40-year drought at that point. And 8 years after this movie came out, the Cleveland Indians actually lost the World Series to a Miami-based baseball organization. So it's kind of a funny real-life tie-in.
Yeah, I did not know that. Wow.
In fact, too, even in 2016, the Cleveland Indians, on their way to another World Series, threw up a Jobu shrine. So they respect the movie themselves.
Those were my favorite parts of the movie with Pedro Serrano because he believes in Jobu, which is his religion of voodoo. But I just thought it was so funny because he's doing all these things for voodoo, and then you have the veteran pitcher. He pisses on the cup of Jobu, and he's thinking, oh well, nah, nothing's gonna happen to me. And as soon as he goes outside, Wesley Snipes is batting, and the bat slips out of his hand and just hits him right across the head and just knocks him out.
Yeah. So with that said, so last week during the Bull Durham review, I didn't get you to convert to the Church of Baseball. Do you think you'll probably take up Jobu as your deity of choice now?
Yeah, especially after that they won that game. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. So like, biggest argument from this entire episode will be, can Jesus Christ hit a curveball?
I believe so. I believe he could hit a curveball, but Jobu can definitely help you win a championship.
I mean, hey, Serrano had to disavow Jobu in that final moment there to hit that clutch seventh inning home run. So we don't know. Maybe it's all speculation there. I also want to give a shout out in this episode to Bob Uecker. So Bob Uecker has actually been the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for the last 40 years. And he was playing in the role of Harry Doyle, the colorful color commentator for the Tribe during this movie. Actually, fun fact, most of this movie was shot in Milwaukee, so it kind of makes sense why Bob Uecker lended his voice to the role. And he actually improv'd a lot of the lines, too, for this movie. And it makes sense that you can definitely tell he does this for a living. He's been a broadcaster for over 40 years for the Brewers, because when he's throwing out lines like, just a bit outside, or, screw it, no one's watching anyway, I just love that guy in that role too. Even with his other broadcaster too, the playful banner. He's drinking up there in the announce booth. It's amazing. I love Bob Uecker in that role.
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, that he was actually, those were actually a lot of funny parts too. When he's just getting drunk in the in the announcer booth because he knows that they're doing horrible, and he's like, "Yeah, there's no faith. I have no more faith in this team."
Yeah, one of the characters too we haven't even talked about a lot as well is Roger Dorn. I feel bad for Roger Dorn. He was taking L's throughout this movie too. So obviously he got his ass kicked by a rookie. A rookie slept with his wife.
Yeah.
And and then to start off the movie, his manager takes a big piss on his contract right there.
Yep. And then yeah, but he was also kind of a little wimp too. He didn't want to get injured because he's like, well, if I get injured, I have no career. But it's like, dude, you kind of really need to go for the ball if you want to win.
It's the truth. That's definitely why when he has that moment with Ricky in the ninth inning too, where it's like, I can't say it on this podcast. We're keeping it PG rated for all our listeners here, but strike this MFer out. Probably one of the best lines you could say. Short, simple, to the point. And I love the sequence too when they're playing the Yankees in the game to get into the postseason there. It's one of the better cinematic sequences in a baseball movie, I think. And all the main characters have a little bit of a role to play, too. Obviously, Roger Dorn, he gets the big single to lead off the rally for Serrano to hit his game-tying home run. Then you have Harris on the mound, too. He's struggling at the end. Obviously, he's pitched pretty much the whole game because it seems like Lou just wants to throw out Harris and Charlie Sheen for complete games each and every game, apparently. It's movie logic. I'm not going to fight it too much. Anyway, that leads into one of my favorite things. And I would have loved to lead off this podcast with Wild Thing playing to open us up. But obviously, YouTube will probably copyright strike us if we do that.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that, man.
Yeah, so
a lot of my favorite YouTubers have gone fined big bucks.
Yeah, so that allows Charlie Sheen, Wild Thing, Ricky Vaughn to come in, strike out the Yankees' big bad ball player that's basically owned him all season. And it's one of the better sequences from, like I said, Dorn telling him strike him out, him just throwing straight gas on the mound, and then everyone in the crowd in Cleveland just rocking that stadium with that Wild Thing right there. Amazing sequence. Also, too, movie logic. Why is the game in Cleveland? Because the way the Yankees have basically won the season series, you would have thought they would have got home field in that game. Again, moving onward, bottom of the ninth inning, Willie Mays Hayes at the plate. He manages to get an infield single, turns it into two with a stolen base, and then Jake Taylor, the old veteran, suicide bunt, managed to turn that into the game-winning run. I love how everyone has a role to play. And on the bright side, hey, at least Dorn got to throw at least one haymaker in there at the end on Charlie Sheen because he probably deserved it. Pretty tire blood, Charlie Sheen, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I will say this about the movie, though. Out of all the movies that we've been reviewing, I didn't see Bull Durham until I reviewed it. But out of all the movies from The Sandlot, Bull Durham, and Major League, I would say Major League is my favorite so far. And it's really surprised me because I remember Major League back in the day as people saying that it's funny, but I found it really funny. Like, to me, it was on point with Airplane. And that's an older type movie. And I just thought it was great.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely has a lot of like the similar humor, a lot of stuff that maybe you can necessarily not even get away with today. Like how it's funny, like this team is based off the Cleveland Indians because Chief Wahoo, who is the Indians mascot, it was just this past season that the Indians decided to discontinue him as a mascot because obviously a little insensitive to our Native American folks. So really only watching this is where you can actually see the famous Chief Wahoo. A couple more fun facts I want to throw in there before we finish up this review. So Charlie Sheen, I actually want to say two. I think what I liked about Charlie Sheen, he was the most realistic baseball pitcher I've seen in a movie too. And you can actually believe that the guy's throwing gas. His pitching motion actually looks legit. And fun fact about Charlie Sheen, he actually earned an athletic scholarship to play baseball for the University of Kansas. in his teen years. In fact, even Bob Uecker said while filming the movie, he thought if Charlie Sheen wanted to, he could have legit went pro. Now, tempered that by 30 years later, in a 2011 interview, Charlie Sheen said he took steroids for the role. So, yeah, Charlie Sheen was a bit of a wild one, a bit of a wild thing, as they say.
Dang, Charlie Sheen, wow. Really? Oh my God, I did not know that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's even talks too. They may even want to do a Major League 4. This movie's technically got a couple sequels, of which we'll get into at some point, I'm sure. But anyway, I think it's time we probably should recap it. But first, I guess I should ask, what's your favorite moment overall?
Oh man, there's so many. Let's see. I have a whole list of my favorites. I would say the first time when they're playing the Yankees and all of them are messing up really bad, and it's just so funny that everything wrong is happening in one game. And then you have that group of, you have the diehard fans in the crowd. They're just trying to rile everybody up, and everybody's just looking at them like, please stop. Like, this game's already done. Just please.
He hit it too hard. Oh, no, he hit it too high moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's gone. I love that one. We mentioned it kind of earlier, but I can't forget Harris stealing Jobu's rum. You never steal Jobu's rum. Just don't do it. It's not going to end well for you.
And it didn't, man. He got knocked out by a baseball bat.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many good moments between the comedy, the baseball side of things. I love it. With that said, so if just a quick recap to refresher for our viewers, if you don't remember our rating scale from last week, 5-star would what we would call a home run. 4-star would be warning track power. 3-star, bloop single. I mean, bloop single is always nice to have on your record there. 2-star, that's going to be a foul ball. Like, hey, you hit it into the line. You're going to probably forget about this movie soon, but, a nice moment for the kids that got the ball. A 1-star is definitely going to be what you'd consider a swing and a miss, a strikeout. Forget about. We don't care. This movie, hands down for me, is a home run. Knocked it out of the park. That baby's out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Home run. I would give it a home run for sure. Like I said, definitely one of my favorite movies that we've been reviewing so far. But of course, The Sandlot. Sandlot holds a piece of me. I love The Sandlot. But man, Major League was definitely a good recommendation. Good fun, good laughs. I liked it a lot.
All right, C-Money. Well, that does it for me. I love doing this review with you. Can't wait to do more. Obviously, next week we're back with Field of Dreams. Anyway, peace, man.
Peace, man. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely can't wait to catch up on the sequels.
Well, you say that now, but...
Are they that bad?
2's okay. We'll get into it. We'll get into it, guys. All right. Grab some pine meat.
All right, man. All right, guys, that is our review of Major League. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And honestly, if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. I really enjoyed it, and I've never seen this movie before. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed our review, and we will catch you on the next time. Bye, guys.
Hello, you know us? We're a Major League Baseball team. But since we haven't won a pennant in over 30 years, nobody recognizes us, not even in our own hometown.
That's why we carry the American Express card.
No matter how far out of first we are, it's cool. It keeps us from getting shut out at our favorite hotels and restaurant-type places.
So you're looking for some big league clout. Apply for that little green home run heater.
Look what it's done for us. People still don't recognize us, but...
We're contenders now.
The American Express card. Don't steal home without it.